Hello, everybody. This is Cathy Nolan, and for those of you who don't know me, I actually draw people for a living. Really love meeting entrepreneurs and finding out about them and what makes them tick. I'm actually really delighted today to have Monica Munro. So, Monica, why don't you introduce yourself to everybody and share with everyone who you are and what you do and what brings you here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cathy. I'm so excited about this.
Me too.
Yeah. So my name's Monica Munro, and I am an entrepreneur. I have been one for the last 20 years, and I'm an artist. So I do oil paintings with palette knife. I am a recording artist. So I recorded my album 11 years ago now. It's hard to believe it's that long ago. And that was a childhood dream that I fulfilled. It was super exciting. And then my next dream with that was to go platinum with the album, which in Canada, which is where I'm located, just outside of Calgary, Alberta, platinum at the time I recorded my album means I would need to sell 80,000 albums.
So, oh my, did you get to sell? Wow, that's amazing.
I didn't go platinum yet, but the good thing is there's no time frame on it. I can do it whenever. So I still have a few years left. I did go door to door for 6 years selling it for a couple hours a night.
That's ballsy, going door to door. Good for you.
Yeah, it was, you know what? It was a wonderful experience. I got to meet lots of great people. Got invited in for birthday parties and dinners and visits, and that was really cool. Was a couple yucky experiences doing that, but you know what? That's part of it. It's part of the journey.
Exactly.
But overall, I loved it, and I did end up selling over 14,000 albums door to door.
So good for you. That's amazing. Yeah. Talk about tenacity and sticking with what you love to do and all that. But now, besides being a singer, you're also a dream coach. So what exactly is a dream coach, and how did you become a dream coach?
Sure. So a dream coach is someone, I call myself a dream champion because I champion my clients to achieve their big dreams. Wild, big, crazy dreams, whatever they are, or they could just be small ones, whatever is important to somebody, what's in their heart. I just love to walk them through a process and just champion them all along the way to make sure that they go from either creating a dream or having a dream that they want to fulfill all the way to having it fulfilled, or at least well on their way during the time we work together. So it is, I don't know, it just brings me the greatest joy to be able to do that with people. And because I know the joy that I experienced when I fulfilled, different dreams that I've had, and I know the difference it can make in the world depending on what our dream is. So I just love to help people with that. And how I became one was, I actually, back in 2008, I hired a dream coach for myself. And
I never hear the word dream coach too often. So that's kind of interesting. How did you even find a dream coach back then in those days?
I honestly have no idea where I met this
girl. Right?
Yeah, I think it was just meant to be.
Okay.
And a lot of people get confused because they think a dream coach is somebody who interprets your dreams when you're, the dreams that you have when you're sleeping. But a dream coach is somebody who is going to help you. And I have a proven methodology that will help you actually achieve your dreams. So when I realized how much I've been coaching in different capacities for over 3 decades. So for me, I love coaching. I love being there to support people and guide them and, help them to think about the things that they're doing and, what's the right next step and all of that. So when it came to fulfilling some big dreams and knowing the difference that it can make in the world, I just wanted to become, I wanted to get certified as a dream coach. So I did.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I guess the methodology you've been taught to help people achieve their dreams, is it like a mindset thing, or is it a certain pragmatic approach that you coach people through? Like what, how do you help people who have no idea what their dreams are, or maybe feel like their dreams are too big to accomplish?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there are people who say they don't have a dream. I do believe that everybody has a dream, and sometimes they're just buried, and, maybe some trauma happened that kind of dimmed the light of them for people. But everybody does have a dream. So sometimes it's just rediscovering it or reawakening it, or sometimes it's about creating a new one. And so, yeah, I mean, I help people basically figure out what their vision is for their life, what their purpose is. And we do that through some practical exercises. What do you like? What do you love? What brings you joy? So there's lots of journaling and answering, thought-provoking questions and figuring out what people actually really want to do. Because I mean, it's so important. Dreams are important, because they give us a vitality and excitement and passion in our life, and that's really important. And we've all been given gifts and talents, and that's part of what the dream is. So sometimes it's actually discovering what those are too. And so yeah, it's a very pragmatic approach, but it's also about using our imagination, because we can create a dream if we want to. You know.
I think also just with this year and the pandemic we're in, it's hard to understand how can you hold on to your dreams when things seem so doom and gloom. At least this year's been quite a surprise for many. And
Yeah.
how do you encourage people to not give up on their dreams? Like, is that part of being a dream coach, where you encourage people to have faith and have hope? Do you have like a story or an example you can share of someone who really felt they weren't going to be able to make their dreams come true because of outside circumstances, or
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many stories like that, and I can tell you that it's so, like, a really big thing right now is what we're allowing into our mind. What are we watching on TV? What are we reading? If we're filling our mind with news, like I'm telling you, there was a few days where I was, watching too much news, and or watching, videos that somebody would send to me that were really depressing. And I get to a point where if I spend time looking at that stuff and, having it come into my mind, I get to the point where I just want to go lie down in bed and go, what am I doing anything for? What am I working for anything? Why am I trying to accomplish dreams and build a business and all of that stuff? And so I just go, our environment and what we allow into our mind it plays a massive role in terms of how we feel, how we think, and whether we're going to keep moving forward in our life. And so, and the interesting thing is, right now, there is so much opportunity because of this. And there's so many people that have had the opportunity to really reflect on their life and make some major decisions. Like, is this where, as you look where your life is heading, is this where you really want to go? And if it's not, this is a perfect time to make some changes, right?
Well, and change doesn't happen overnight, right? So
No.
It's interesting how you have to take tiny baby steps to make those changes, and it's like a new muscle you're training, right? Isn't that the case, where you're trying to just make accommodations and changes to what's working or what wasn't working into what will be working moving forward? And I guess I'm just really curious, like, what inspires you by being a dream coach? Like, is it that transformation you're able to see in the clients that you're serving, or?
That is definitely part of it. And I also really believe that we are here on this planet to make a difference in people's lives. and to have an impact, whatever that may be, whether it's doing something, philanthropic, charitable work, starting a nonprofit organization, or whether it's, whether it's to have, like, find your forever love, or if it's to write a book. Like, so I love seeing people find their voice and make choices about who they want to be, and what they want their life to look like in like 5 years or 10 years, even 1 year.
Mm.
So it's all about the process, and really asking yourself, what do you want? What do you love? What do you want your life to be like? Who is the future person that you want to be? And so it's such a fun process, because when people actually figure out what their purpose is, and realize that they can actually accomplish their dreams, that they don't have to be just dreams,
Mhm.
that's a major transformation for people. And that's what I love seeing. And I love seeing them make a difference in the world.
You've got something special coming up actually this week, which is
I do.
called Your Big Dreams Realized. So why don't you share with all of us why did you create a summit like that, and what inspired you to reach out to 21 amazing, cool speakers about this?
Sure. I'd love to tell you guys about it. So the reason why I wanted to do it, so I am in the process of writing a book that is taking way longer than I expected. But you know what?
Doesn't it always?
That's okay. It's interesting, because one of the speakers I interviewed for the summit, it took her 9 years to write her book. So I'm like,
wow.
okay, I'm good. But anyway, yeah, I think there's a few reasons why I wanted to do it. One is it is a research project for me, just to enhance my coaching, and because who I've interviewed are like people who have achieved massive dreams in their life, and they're continuing to achieve more and more. So I wanted to basically ask them how they've done it. So the title of the summit is called Your Big Dreams Realized: Believe in Possibilities, Break Through Barriers, and Create the Life You Really Want. Because there's a lot of people who have either been told they're never going to achieve their dream, or they can't achieve their dream, or like for you, Cathy, with art, and me with my music, it wasn't encouraged. Well, I don't know if it was encouraged, but I remember reading your story. But for me, it was like, well, you can't make money doing music, so of course I'm not going to.
Yeah, my father put the fear of God in me, like, oh my God, you need to have a well-rounded education. You can't just be an artist. Or my great uncle as a kid would be like, oh, cartooning, what a nice hobby for you. And I remember being 10 years old going, you just don't get it, do you? This is my calling. I'm meant to be drawing people, like, and it's,
Yes.
I guess I've had the courage to stick with what I knew as a kid and still carry that with me. I'll be 50 this Saturday, and it's like I still think like a kid and act like a kid sometimes. I don't mean to, but it's about carrying that passion with you, making that commitment to yourself. So, like, I guess as you were saying, you were told you would never make it in singing, right?
Well, you can't make money doing it, right?
Yeah, but then look at what you've sold,
Right. Yeah, I mean, those over 14,000 albums netted me over $250,000.
Why do you think people are told to not, like, why do you think people who are into music and art are told these false beliefs?
Probably because they, well, you know what? I don't know. There's a few hypotheses. So I would say, there are artists who have had a dream to do their art, but they didn't have the courage to do it. And so for whatever reasons they chose not to do it, they now project those onto other people. Because, I mean, most people are not, trying to say things in a mean way. They're really coming from a place of, you know, I care about you. I don't want you to fail. I don't want you to struggle. I want you to have the best. And so they give us their opinions, you know, or their well-meaning advice, but it really does deter a lot of people. And that's a really sad thing, because there are so many people who have these brilliant gifts and geniuses that they aren't sharing, because either there's not the support in their life, or they haven't given themselves permission to do it. You know, their thinking around it is not really clear. You know, they've bought into certain beliefs too, and that's what I love to do, because to me, you can do what you want to do. You just, you know, like, I mean, the story of my album, you know, when I wanted to do an album since I was a kid, but I let like almost 3.5 decades go by before I actually did it, because there were always reasons why I couldn't, right? I didn't know how to do it. Definitely didn't have the money. The money was always the big thing. And I think that's a
big thing. I think that holds people back is, you know, they always say invest in yourself, which is great, but you know, it's like you have to spend money to make money, but at what cost eventually, you know? You can maybe elaborate a little bit more than I could on that. But, yeah, so a lot of people just don't go for their dreams because of the money aspect.
Right. So you know, to give you a short example, I didn't have the money to do it, but there was a movie. I don't know if you watched it. It's actually a Canadian movie. It was called 1 Week. And it was about a guy who was diagnosed with cancer and was going to die. And he took a week and drove his motorcycle across Canada and all the experiences. But at the end of the movie, there was this monologue that just hit me. And then I also did an exercise in a book called Overcoming Under-Earning by Barbara Stanny. And it had an exercise in there called, if you only had 6 months left to live, what would you do?
Gosh, that's great. I don't know what I would do. What would you do? That's really crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I filled out that exercise back in 2009, no, 8 or 9. And one of the things that I wrote down was, I'm going to do my album and leave it as a legacy to my family and friends.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah. And I mean, there's a whole bunch of questions in there, like, what would you change? Who would you be with? You know, would you be working? What would you be doing? But anyway, that was one of the things that came out of it for me. And then I was reading another book, The 5 Secrets You Must Discover Before You Die by Dr. John Izzo. And in there, it also referenced this 6 months left to live exercise. And so I realized, okay, because after I first did it, I got distracted again, right?
Life happens.
Yes, exactly. It happens to all of us. And so anyway, it reminded me of that. And so then I decided, okay, that's it. I'm doing this. I'm committing to it. And then one of the things I did, I was down in Los Angeles for a conference, a Laura Langmeyer, 3 Days to Cash. And while I was there, I had the idea, pre-sell your album. So that's one of the things I did. I went up to 11 people that I didn't know for the most part. Like, I had maybe met them like earlier that day or something. And I said, this is my dream. And I want to record my album. This is in my mind, what it's going to look like. And would you give me $20? And I will have it to you within 6 weeks or 6 months to 12 months. And out of those 11, no, actually I went up to 12 people, and 11 people gave me $20. So the cool thing about that was, now I'm committed, right? Because they've paid me the money. I've taken their money.
And they put the faith in you to do it.
Yes, they believed in me and trusted me. And so for me, that was what I needed to get myself moving on that album. And sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes it takes us making a commitment outside of ourselves to keep moving forward with it, especially when it gets, when you hit some walls or some difficult things. So anyway, I still didn't know how to do it, and I kept moving forward, and started meeting some songwriters. Originally, I wanted to co-write all the songs with some of my songwriter friends, but I only ended up co-writing one song. And the rest were songs written by friends of mine from across Canada and some American co-writers. So I did get the album done. It took about 12 and a half months. I waited a little bit longer because I wanted one particular musician to play on it.
Okay.
Russell Broom, he had toured with Jan Arden for 14 years as her guitar player, and he was busy with some other recordings. So we waited a little bit. It was a good call though. But anyway, the whole thing about, okay, so I pre-sold a few albums, but that doesn't give me $45,000 to record my album.
Right.
And so I just kept talking about it to people because I had made the commitment. And then it was just so interesting because I started meeting all these different people. Like I went to a networking group. I met this lady who she bought 5 albums from me, right? So another pre-sale. And then she told me about this organization that she was with, CEO Space. Are you familiar with it?
No, I'm not. What is CEO Space?
Oh, I don't know how to describe it. But it's a whole bunch of people that, there's a lot of education in there. And so I don't know if you call it an ecosystem, but people working together. Yeah, I'm not doing a good job of explaining it.
Okay, people can Google that up. So
yeah, they can do that.
So tell us about the summit. Like, I guess it's coming up October 8th until the 28th, which is all month of October. And when people register for free, they're going to be hearing interviews that you have with like 21 amazing speakers who've accomplished their dreams.
Yes. Yeah, and they're working on even bigger ones. So people like Sharon Lecter. So Sharon Lecter, she co-wrote 15 books with Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Poor Dad series.
Yeah. Okay.
And she's advised 2 presidents on financial literacy, and she's written a book. She works with the Napoleon Hill Foundation, so she's written a book, Think and Grow Rich for Women. And so anyway, incredible lady. Greg Reed is somebody who co-wrote 3 Feet from Gold with Sharon and also does stuff with the Napoleon Hill Foundation. But I mean, those are 2 people. Mark Uzak, he is a hypnotist and comedian, and he does a lot of corporate trainings. He's done over 10,000 shows around the world.
That's
and
amazing.
He is such an amazing man. I love him. And Casey Eberhardt, he talks so much about, relationships and the difference, when you nurture those relationships and follow up with people and, the massive difference it makes in your life and your business.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's so great. So people are going to be learning about like their mindset, how to make that better, how to figure out what you really want. That's really cool because a lot of people, I feel in the business world, especially struggle on clarity. That's exciting. And why you don't want to wait to go after your dreams. Sometimes people are just afraid to go after what they really want.
Yes.
And so I'm sure you'll be addressing that as well, right?
Yeah.
And then life, business, the financial side of your dreams and the role that your thoughts play in achieving your dreams. Which one out of all the 21 interviews you've had, which one resonated with or just really gave you an aha, wow? Like which interview was with, or was it with several people?
Oh, you know what? Yes. Like all of the interviews, like I can say that there are so much stuff in there. Like I've been watching the interviews, just getting ready to go live with them, starting on Thursday. But like I'm taking, like, one of the interviews, I took 7 pages of notes, another one 5 pages of notes. Like, they are filled with stuff. If you want to achieve your dreams, you definitely want to watch this summit. You want to watch the interviews. And so going back to, like, they've all been incredible, but the one that has really, like, resonated, I guess, the most for me, partly because I just finished reading the author's book called Personality Isn't Permanent, and I'm starting the summit with this interview, and I really hope that everybody watches it. And I mean, obviously watches all of them because they're all incredible. But Dr. Benjamin Hardy, he is he's a blogger. His blogs have been written or read by over 100 million people. But this book, let's see, Personality Isn't Permanent, Break Free from Self-Limiting Beliefs and Rewrite Your Story.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing.
And so he is, he's also giving everybody a gift, and that is access to his 30-day program on creating your future self. And yeah, like every one of the I call them dream champions. They're all dream champions. Yeah,
I love it. And you're a dream champion too, Monica.
Thank you.
And for those of you who are interested, I put the 2 links in here in Facebook Live. Make sure you register. It starts this Thursday. And Monica also has 6 openings right now for some discovery calls to see if perhaps you would be a good fit for her, or vice versa. She could probably, so there's 6 spots available right now for you guys to click on the link and schedule a call with Monica and just talk about the kind of dreams you've been having, and what's been working, what hasn't, and just to get to know Monica a bit better as well. Is there anything you want to add or share with that, Monica?
Yeah, we'll take about 45 minutes, and exactly, we'll talk about some of your dreams and what's maybe not working in terms of you achieving them, and what you'd like your life to look like, and what's getting in the way of getting there. So that's why they're discovery calls, because sometimes we just need to talk it out and figure things out. So they'd be about 45 minutes, and they're complimentary, and I would love to help you discover how you can actually achieve those dreams that you have, because they're important and they matter.
Yeah, and I think that's what makes us tick, right? Having the big dreams, hopes, and beliefs, having faith, and then putting in the work to make it happen. So thank you so much, Monica, for your time. I hope you like your caricature. I added the blue eyes, so there you
are. Oh, awesome.
And for those of you, if you have, if you want to be interviewed by me or drawn, send me a DM, and I'll be happy to talk with you as well. But Monica, thank you for joining us, and I really hope a lot of people will register for your summit. There's so much value and so much to learn from people who have succeeded, and I think it's a great topic, and I'm just so excited for you. I really am. This is such a great topic for all of us, especially with this year in 2020.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy year for a lot of people, and this is a great opportunity for them to reevaluate where they are, where do they want to go, and how you can help serve them and get there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Cathy. And I love it.
Oh, good.
So amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Well, you hang on. We're going to say goodbye to our Facebook friends, and please make sure you watch the replay. And where can people find you, Monica?
You can find me at monicamunro.com. So you can see my name spelt on the art there. Yeah, you can find me there, or Facebook. You can go to Monica Munro or Dream Champions, my Facebook page. And yeah, I would love to connect with you.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for your time, and everybody have a great afternoon. And I look forward to October 8th. So make sure you guys register today. Take care, everybody. Stay safe and
Bye-bye.
stay well. Bye.
Bye.